Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to a new episode of the Look Saigon podcast. In this episode, we have my friend Cale. Cale's story is pretty interesting. He was born in Saudi Arabia, grew up in Texas, and eventually moved to Virginia. It's pretty cool because I'm from Northern Virginia. Cale works as a journalist, and in his free time, he does stand-up comedy. I find myself admiring all stand-up comics because I feel it must take a lot of courage to get on stage. Not only do comedians get on stage, but they also say what they feel, even if it pisses people off, and I love that. At the moment, I look up to all stand-up comedians as my mentors. Thank you guys for existing. Intro, like, hey guys, I'm here with my friend Cale. I met him through my bro Max back in Virginia. And you've been here for 8 months, right?
That's right. I've been here for 8 months.
8 months. How do you like Saigon so far?
I love Saigon. I have to say it's a really refreshing city just to live, to chill. It's chaotic, but also very calming.
What are your top 3 favorite things about Saigon?
Top 3, okay. Number 1, I'll go from 3 because that's more
Okay.
that's more suspense. Number 3 probably has to be proximity to nature, because I feel like no matter which direction you go, there's always something you can find that's pretty serene and natural. I mean, even in Saigon, they have like a lot of parks and stuff. Number 2, the food. Food is good, whether it's like Vietnamese food from all over Vietnam or like food from other countries. They do it pretty well here. Number 1, gotta be the people. The people represent in Saigon
True.
pretty well.
What do you think is your favorite Vietnamese food right now?
My favorite Vietnamese food, and I'm gonna butcher this, but it's probably mi hoang.
I love mi quang.
Yeah, mi hoang. Mi hoang goes hard, man.
Dude.
Yeah.
My favorite mi quang place is this place called Heel and Celeb.
Oh, okay.
In, I think it's in Phu Nhuan district.
Oh, that's some.
I think so.
That place has like some of the best hidden gems.
Yeah.
I guess not hidden because it's a big district, but it's a lot of cool local places there.
Actually, that monk that you met last time,
Yeah.
with me, like, I actually met him at his original pagoda in Phu Nhuan.
Oh, word.
Yeah, it was like in a back alley,
Yeah.
like you would never guess that there's
Yeah.
a pagoda back there.
There's so many places. You have to just spend days exploring. Yeah.
Cool. So, like, the purpose of this conversation is to get into your experience in comedy, stand-up comedy. So, yeah, what first made you try stand-up comedy?
That's a good question. The first motivational factor was probably just watching some of my favorite comedians in the early 2000s. As a kid, I grew up on shows like The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. I grew up on Chappelle's Show.
True.
On Comedy Central. I was always listening to like Chris Rock specials and Lewis Black specials. And yeah, I guess I was like maybe in improv. Yes, I was in an improv class in high school.
Cool.
And it was very cool because like improv was like this form of theater that I wasn't really that like before I started doing it. It wasn't something I set out to do, but it was something that someone suggested because they had heard that I did theater in middle school, very like limited level of it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you should try improv." And I was like, "Okay." And improv is like so cool. You have to be fearless, focused, and flexible, like the 3 Fs. And through my improv coach, one of her colleagues, she introduced me to one of her colleagues who was like doing a stand-up camp. And so I was like, oh, hell yeah, like stand-up, that's a wonderful opportunity to be fearless, focused, and flexible, because you gotta, it's not like the same skills as improv, but there are some transferable talents. There's some transferable stuff there. So I did the stand-up camp, like the drill that they kind of prepared for people who were interested. And yeah, I entertained like my classmates' parents. I did pretty well.
Cool.
I mean, this is something I did when I was a kid too. I would often just like, whenever like my parents had their friends over, I would like try to like talk about my day or talk about like what was happening in the world and like make it kind of entertaining, and they always liked that, and so that gave me some extra confidence, I think. And then yeah, I took that to stand up in high school, and I didn't really do it much for a long time afterwards, but then I guess yeah, I went to college and then grad school, and then I did like my first proper show in New York City.
Whoa.
And killed.
Nice.
And I mean, it was kind of like I did stack the audience with like friends, but it was like I don't think that not everyone was humoring me, and I could tell that okay, I have a place to go, and of course I've been working on my act ever since, and it's changed. But yeah, that kind of began my journey.
Dang. How'd you feel when you were like about to go on stage in New York?
Oh, dude. I was so nervous. I was like, literally, shout out to my friend Emily Dixon, who was a classmate of mine who was there like during my first show. And I was like, Emily, I can't do this. And she was just like, because I was kind of known among some of my classmates for being, the guy who like always injected levity into conversations and into like the learning experience. And she was like, yeah, just like, take it like you're talking with one of us, like make it relational. And that kind of calmed me down. I think every time you get up on stage, you should be nervous. It's like, there's a healthy amount of nervousness. There's like an excess of it, which is not good. And you need to be like, calm down. But there's like a good middle ground, I think, because if you have butterflies in your stomach, they're flying, they're like doing their thing. That means they're trying to get you to be focused. They're trying to get you to pay attention so they can rest and become moths. It's the other way around, but you know what I mean. Like, you need to have a little bit of care for what you're doing, and so the nervousness reflects you just care about doing a good show.
Like keeps you present.
Yes.
In that moment.
Yeah.
True. Oh, cool. Wait, how did you feel before your very first time on stage?
Yeah, probably very very nervous, a little bit antsy. I was kind of thinking about, like what happens, like I'm going to be up there, I'm going to be scrutinized, people are going to be, thinking about like what I'm saying, but I guess I was like overthinking a lot. But once I started my, I guess my first proper show, it was kind of like a guitar playing itself, or guitar players I know who are like very good. They say sometimes they're playing and the guitar is just, they're like strumming along with they're in the music, they're in the moment, right? And it's like the words, the feeling behind the words, how I'm reacting to the audience, it all just becomes one after a while. And I don't want to say it's on like autopilot, but it's like you get into a rhythm and you're comfortable. And then that's great, because then you can kind of get yourself out of your comfort zone again. When you want to challenge yourself and kind of perfect your set. But yeah, before I went on stage, I was just like sweating bullets. I was like Jordan Peele in that Key and Peele sketch where he's just like
It's dripping sweat.
Yeah, I was drenched like Loki.
I believe it.
Yeah.
But just right now, it reminds me of like when I do coaching. Like I feel like when I'm trying to coach, I screw it up.
Yeah.
But when I'm not trying, just letting it flow, then it's like there's like a coach inside of me that's trying to coach and I'm just a vessel
Yeah.
for that thing. And
It's
I have to just let it flow and not interfere with it.
100%. No, that's like you kind of like you have something inside you, and this might sound a little bit like corny, but like I feel like there's for like I think most art there's something you want to share with the world, and you just have to be confident in your message. You know. Yeah.
Then so now it sounds like just expressing yourself in general is art.
I think so. I would say so. I mean, I feel like that's why I like stand-up comedy so much is because it's a very there's a lot of work that goes into it, right? But at the same time, it's at least for me, it feels like a way where I can express myself very readily because I think words are power. Humor is power. I feel like humor is really disarming, and I feel like like I love the fact that you have this medium, and it's also kind of very adjacent to daily life and how like I think we can all kind of be comedians in our own way sometimes. We can all be a little bit funny. We can all be a little bit like we can kind of be truth tellers to each other. And I feel like it's a very democratic art form in that way.
Cool. Okay. When did you realize, like, okay, I might actually be good at this?
So yeah, I guess like that first time I did it and did pretty well, that gave me an idea. It's like, okay, I can maybe keep doing this and see where it goes. I've had many performances, sometimes paid performances, where I've bombed, and I'm talking like royally bombed, and I've been like, oh man, I can't never get up on stage again, and I'm like kind of just chewing myself out. But I think one thing that gave me confidence to always keep going with it no matter what is I did a show actually in Beijing, and I remember one of my favorite comedians, a hero of mine, influence of mine, Wong. He was also performing, and he was like, I guess kind of seeing my progress over a matter of weeks or months, and then I ended up opening for him.
Dude.
And that was so amazing, that opportunity just to open for one of my heroes. I mean, and he's like, he's been on Colbert. Whenever I used to host the open mics and he was performing, I always used to bring him up this way. He probably got tired of it. But I was like, oh, he's been on Colbert. He's been on Letterman. Everybody, it's Wong. But like, he's just a very awesome, humble guy and a very, very funny guy. And, he loves the craft. He's really diligent and hardworking. And just like being adjacent to him, being in dialogue with him, kind of boosted my confidence to be like, oh, I can definitely keep doing this.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's powerful. Ooh, that's a good one. What was your worst bombing experience?
Oh man, my worst one. Let's see. So there's like just a number of them. I guess there was one time where, I did a paid show in Hong Kong, and I was it was me and my buddy. We were both on the show, and I forget. I think it was just like 3 to 4 comedians, and like we were the later half of it, the later half of the show, and that's when you want to kind of like end strong. And we both just like the audience did not want us up there, which is like the thing is most of the time, like for all comedians, I think for most artists, I think it's never really the audience's fault. Like if they don't receive the message you're trying to get across, like you need to work on yourself as a performer, as an artist. And so it's like it's never the audience's fault, but like I guess like there is like that threshold where like you still want to try to save it, but it's past the precipice of being saved. The audience is not gonna help you unless you actually are creative enough.
Yeah.
So I had like a 10-minute set prepared, so I just had to get through 10 minutes. I knew by like the third or fourth minute mark they did not want me up there. But yeah, I just kept going, and in a way it was kind of cool because when you bomb, you get practice in believing in your jokes, because you need to be able to just kind of smile and go to the next one. Because one thing audiences hate is when you take them out of the experience, when you're like, oh, that was just a joke, or I'm just joking, or man, like I'm just like casually saying like I'm not doing well. Like that's just gonna take them out of it even more. So if you acknowledge that you're not doing well, you maybe be clever about it, and that might get them back. Because I've been bombing before, and I've joked, oh man, I'm bombing so much, I feel like a American president. You know, like people try to you can maybe get people back on board. But yeah, that experience, I was like, I can't do comedy ever again. And then I went back up next week.
Cool. Good. Awesome.
Which is, yeah, it's like lifting weights, you know.
Yeah. I guess if you bomb now, you'd be like, man, I'm bombing worse than Iran right now.
Lord Jesus. Or Donald.
Okay, good question. What moment in comedy has made you the most proud so far?
So probably this kind of, I guess, goes in with like the other question about what gave me confidence to do this is like performing on Joe Wong's shows, one of his shows in Beijing. I actually opened for him twice. He did like a double headline that night. There was another proud moment, which is where, actually quite recently, so I took like a 8-month hiatus. Actually, since coming to Vietnam, I didn't immediately get into the scene because I just wanted to, I guess, like prioritize, like, you know, settling in, moving into the city, like, you know, kind of exploring and building my identity here. You know, comedy in a way is just kind of like every performer kind of talking through their identity crisis, by the way.
Cool.
But I went on stage on, when was it? Oh yeah, at this forum called Longer Laughs, this show organized by a very cool local comedian, Wayner. And he has like this way for performers to do 20-minute sets, which is kind of, if you're opening for someone, that's kind of like a routine minimum amount of time. Yeah. It's 20 minutes. So way longer than the 5 you usually get at an open mic. And at that show, I did pretty well in between two comedians who I love and respect. And yeah, that was a pretty proud moment for me.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. Has your style or voice changed at all since you started?
Yeah, leaks. Yeah. God, I don't even want to think about like my first, like when I first went up on stage, I was probably a little bit too. I'm not trying to compare myself to him because he's, you know, leagues ahead, I think, of where I am. I mean, just obviously, but like George Carlin had this arc, right, where he began as kind of like a little bit more like of like a typical comedian for the time. Very, I mean, he was subversive in some ways, but kind of like played his set in a certain way. It was kind of a little bit like straight, but like I feel like I've become a lot more, you know, over time you become a lot more, a little bit more cynical, a little bit more punchy, a little bit more like subversive. And I feel like I've had like a similar path in a way. I've also been a lot more comfortable in talking about like my experiences. Just like because like when I started, I was just kind of talking about, oh, this is like what people do in daily life. This is how people go to school. People go to work. Isn't that funny that people do this at work? Like, why are we even working? Who needs work? I think work is a conspiracy theory. It's one of my jokes, actually. Don't go to work tomorrow. Nothing will happen. I swear. That's a plot by the Illuminati. I think there's a threshold where, not a threshold, but there's a moment, I think, where you realize, and Richard Pryor is a really big influence in this way, it's like being vulnerable enough to talk about like your experiences and how wild they are or how like they've changed you. That is something that resonates with audiences way more than what I was doing earlier, I think, in my comedy life. So I think I've become a lot more willing to kind of be vulnerable on stage.
Cool.
And that, whenever I'm more vulnerable, I always get more laughs. For the most part.
Cool. Good to know. What's something about stand-up that most people completely misunderstand?
So, a lot actually.
Really?
Yeah. Well, like, I think people, two things are coming to mind right now. I think there's like a lot of early comedians, they think comedy is being subversive for the hell of it, or being like kind of like out there, but like, you know, not having something that's like innovative or introspective, or like not even that, but just something that's thoughtful. I feel like to be very subversive, to be like even a little bit crass, you need to have some thought into it for people to actually appreciate it, because it's like, this is at its most root level, I think comedy is like subverting expectations. I think it's subverting things that we all deal with and we all have a grievance about, whether we might not all share a grievance, but like it's about something that like, oh, this is how things are, but this is counterintuitive to how like, you know, you might think that they should work or how they feel for you. And I feel like if you don't tap into that, if you don't tap into, I think, a more almost kind of philosophical place, I think you can kind of run the risk of being a hack, basically. And then I think for audience members who might not perform comedy, I think one misconception is like, you know, it's something that's off the cuff. Good comedians make it seem like it's off the cuff, but usually it's lots of writing. I saw like a post online that was like, how long does it take to have a good 5 minutes? And then someone responded, 2 years.
True.
Yeah, it takes that much writing. You know, it's a lot of it's a commitment, I think, just to improving what you have. I'm actually like an editor, so I kind of see that as a transferable skill, because I'm always, in journalism, we call it drowning your puppies or killing your babies. Which is like, sometimes there's something you love, you gotta let it go because it's not serving the story. And the same thing with comedy. Sometimes I have like, oh man, I find this funny. It doesn't help the joke though. You gotta drop it, and yeah, like that's a process that takes time. And you know, I think there's something I want to say, but I forget. Probably I'll remember in 2 years.
Cool. I don't know if we answered this already. We might have answered this already, but so like after those tough sets, like what keeps you coming back?
I guess I just love the service of it. You know, I feel like comedy is a kind of, I mean, I don't put it on the same level, obviously, as like being a doctor or like a firefighter, or even a nail technician. But it's like, it's a service that people need, and I think that I have that talent. So, you know, why not tap into that to connect with the world? I feel like, especially now, like there's this idea in comedy called the benign violation. It's like you know, a way to disarm people, to make them feel a lot more comfortable about like questioning things. I like that capacity, which I find through comedy. You know, the ability to push boundaries and then have people come with me, take them on a journey, and hopefully they feel a little bit more lighter, and they feel a little bit more, you know, they feel able to kind of think about things in a different way as well.
Did the whole PC thing ever try to get into comedy?
I mean, I think maybe. I think, you know, Bo Burnham, a comedian I respect, he's talked about this. The pendulum kind of swung a certain way. But I feel like at the root of it, I mean, the most important thing is just like being funny. And so like, I feel like, you know, no matter what, like you always have to be in service of like the joke, right? Of the audience. That's the people you're giving the service to. And so it's like, one of my favorite comedians is, you know, Dave Chappelle is very, very funny, very influential. I respected his early work because I feel like he's tapping into what really makes a joke a joke. Some of his later work, I feel, isn't joke oriented so much as like him kind of saying things as like someone who's been in the business for a long time. But, you know, I mean, he's still someone who knows how to write like a good joke. But I feel like when you stray away from that and you, I guess, because like there's a joke and then there's just like, I guess, ranting, right? And I think a good comedian, no matter like who they are, they'll know how to entertain people, because at the heart of it, you need to come from a place of empathy. Like Anthony Jeselnik is a good example of this. Like he'll know he's like, you know, or you know, Bill Burr, they'll know they're like kind of dragging people into a sketchy place, but like they have to empathize with the audience on some level. And I think empathy is really kind of a crucial way to build a joke, because that's how you kind of relate with the audience in the first place. Which is interesting to do, especially in an international setting like Saigon. But that's a separate thing. But yeah, my favorite comedians like George Carlin, Margaret Cho, Chris Rock, they kind of have always tapped into that energy.
Sweet. It says, looking back from today, what advice would you give the version of you who did their first open mic?
The version? I wasn't a version, but well, I might have been. We'll edit that out. Yeah, just something that my dad told me, actually. He's not a comedian. But my dad told me when I was nervous during one of my shows, I ringed him up. He's like, the audience wants you to succeed. They're there to laugh. So never have the attitude that the audience is working against you. And you have to keep thinking that. You can know it, but you have to live that as well.
True. That's powerful.
Yeah, and if you take it at face value, then you're just going to, I think, fall into a trap of, oh, this didn't work, you know, what's wrong with me? But if you actually are in dialogue with the audience, like physically, like emotionally, just like you're really relating to the people you're entertaining in the moment, right? If you live that way, if you perform that way, then you see comedy as a process, you know, and it's almost in a way kind of how I envision it's like to be a really, really respected teacher. All my favorite teachers always had a good sense of humor. And yeah, I think, treat it as if teachers teach as if, at least like the teachers I know, they teach as if like they want, as if, you know, the students they're teaching are interested in knowledge and co-creating knowledge. That's how you got to perform as a comedian. Like they want to laugh, they want to find humor with you. Sometimes they want to participate, and I'm like, okay, this is my show. Calm down. Like, it's not participatory.
So I felt in the classroom that there's times where like I feel like I'm funny or I'm bombing sometimes. Like in the classroom with 9-year-olds. I'm like, damn, I'm bombing right now, bro. That's so funny. Okay, how about some travel questions?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sweet. So, what's the, well, I guess first, how many countries have you traveled to?
I've traveled to about 20 odd countries. Yeah.
What was the first country you traveled to?
First country I traveled to was the United States.
Because you were born in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, it might have been Italy. Actually, I'm not sure.
Oh,
but
cool.
it was. I need to confirm with my parents.
Or what was the first travel like that you remember?
The first travel that I remember. So yeah, I'd already been living in the United States for a time, and it was going to Saudi Arabia because we went back when I was 7 years old. And literally that Tuesday, 9/11 happened, and
Damn.
George W. launched the war on terror because, like, he just wanted to, I guess, spread the freedom and democracy of Texas to everywhere.
Let me save you.
There's none, by the way. And that was like kind of wild because my relationship to travel from that age was like one of concern and fear, and also it was intertwined almost directly with U.S. imperialism. So it was just like kind of a little bit of a mindfuck. But right afterwards, we went to Greece.
Cool.
And they have
Wow.
nude beaches, so I was good after that.
You were 7.
Yeah.
Yay! Thanks, mommy. Cool. I was gonna ask you, what's the most surprising thing you discovered while traveling? But maybe it was the nude beach. I don't know.
No, I was. Yeah. Sorry, what was that again?
What's the most surprising thing you've
Surprising.
discovered about another country while traveling?
Most surprising. I gotta say it's that's a good question. There's like a few. I think one thing that surprised me a lot about when I visited Cuba, and this is something I noticed in a lot of countries, whether it's Cambodia, whether it's China, whether it's various places in West Asia I visited. It's like people are very, very interested in American culture. Like for example, I was in Cuba, like a lot of love for Beyonce, for Tupac, for baseball, and I'm like, man, like that kind of made me feel like, oh yeah, like in the United States, what if we had the same opinion of other cultures too? Like, we were kind of in unison in a way. One thing that happened when I was in Japan, I didn't realize, because I knew that it's polite to take your shoes off when you enter a place. Did not realize that also included the changing stalls in malls. So
Okay.
I had an oopsie. So I always ask.
Wow, I've never experienced that before.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so make sure if you try something on at a Japanese mall or department store, shoes off before you get into the changing room as well.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
I want to answer this too. The most surprising thing, dang, I feel like 2 things come to mind. Well, funny story. The first time I traveled to, I went to Dubai once with my university, and so dumb of me. Before flying out from Dulles Airport to Dubai, I had Chipotle, and I had 3 Corona beers, right? And on the 14-hour flight, I felt too shy to ask the person to move for me to go to the restroom, so I just held it in for 14 hours, right?
Yeah.
And then so once we arrived in Dubai, I'm like, I'm about to shit myself, literally. And so somehow we get through the customs and all shit. I'm running to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I find the bathroom. I open the door. I go inside and I see this dude washing his feet in this little I don't know, a little sink for feet washing. But I'm not thinking about it. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's looking at me like, what? And I was like, I forgot I'm in Dubai and I gotta take a shit. I was like, I forgot I'm in another country, and I was so busy holding my dump.
Yeah, that's hilarious. What's happening? Oh man, Chipotle will do things to you. Make you forget what country you're in.
Maybe another surprising thing was I've been to Sweden once during summer.
Oh.
I didn't know that the sun sets so late over there. It was like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
and the sun was still not completely. It was still like daytime at 10 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
that was confusing for me to experience.
That kind of makes me feel a little bit less scared when I watch Midsommar with Florence Pugh. Okay, this is normal. Well, not the other parts, but
Wow, I'm getting these other memories now. In Dubai, everything was so religious, right? So
Yeah.
it made me feel like, should I choose a team? Like I know my family's Catholic, but I never really cared. But should I care now?
yeah.
Like, should I choose a squad?
Yeah, I kind of felt that way actually. I mean, like because my family we're deeply religious. I was raised in the Baptist faith, and then I was living in Saudi Arabia as a kid, and which is also like a very a deeply Islamic country. But oddly enough, it didn't really occur to me about like how do I relate to my faith until I visited Thailand when I was like a early teenager, and Thailand is like very predominantly Buddhist,
Yeah.
and that got me kind of. That was when I first started like not just asking questions about faith, but also kind of comparing faiths and seeing both their value, their problems. And there's a comedian that kind of I love the ways that like because Chris Rock, some of his influences were not comedians but preachers in
Really?
the black church.
Wow.
Yeah, that
Cool.
like, and so like this is a prediction that my grandfather had that I would be a preacher, and I guess in some ways I have that.
It's coming true. It's coming true.
Yeah.
Sick. Ooh, good question. Which country changed the way that you see life the most?
Wow, that's a big one. Probably, I mean, this might sound cliche because we're here in country right now, but probably Vietnam.
Actually, me too.
Yeah,
Vietnam too.
yeah. When I visited, I went to Hanoi first, and I found, I guess, just like I think we were talking about this a minute ago. It's like, man, Hanoi or Vietnam in general has this mix of like a lot going on, but also everything kind of being very chill. And obviously, like this describes like a lot of places, but I find in Vietnam just like a very unique way of thinking about that. I notice a lot of people approach problems and approach daily life like a lot of creative ways towards framing things. And my friend was also sharing with me this is like a characteristic that she kind of grew up around. It was like people being very like just because it's a country that went without for so long, right? Like after the war, then there was like the third Indochina War, and then like so much like sanctions, all of that, and then people had to be creative to solve problems, and then but also like despite what's happening in a lot of other countries around, people are very open minded, like an openness to the rest of the world. There's actually a New York Times article that came out which is like Vietnam is still interested in globalization, which I feel like no one else is like. I feel like so many places around the world are not interested anymore in this idea about like other, still being like in one global community. But Vietnam is like, okay, we'll see where it goes. They're still in it. And yeah, I guess like just the fact that like as I was saying before, it had like a 20th century of carnage, but it's been able to bounce back. Generally speaking, with some level of optimism for the 21st century. I find that very inspiring.
And for me, I feel like Vietnam changed my life the most because I guess this is where I found out about Zen.
Yeah.
Because before this, Zen was just a word that I had heard of, but I had no idea about it. And also, I learned that monks will help you learn about Zen if you just ask them.
Yeah.
But they won't come and and try to convert you or preach it to you, you have to actually go specifically ask them.
Yes, yeah. That's the thing about Vietnam is it's like you learn whether it's the fates here or other aspects. Like no one will like you have to be proactive about it if you want to pursue it. You know, which I feel like it's kind of that's given me some agency and intentionality in how I do things. And Thich Nhat Hanh was a big influence on me.
Yeah.
I know you're a big fan too.
Yeah, actually, when he was here, like in his final years of life, he was up in Hue,
Yeah.
and I went to Hue. I went to his to where like the temple where he stayed at is. But me in my like silly mind, I was like, "Where's he at? Where's he at?" Like thinking like this is Disneyland or something. Where's Thich Nhat Hanh? Like he's probably resting. He's like an elderly man. He's probably chilling in the back. I was like, "Where's he? I want to see him."
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard not to fanboy out. I've done that a number of times with people I really admire. Like, I remember I met Suboy actually, who was like a Vietnamese rapper, although not here in New York City. I remember meeting her. Another friend was interviewing her, but I was like, "Oh man, Suboy!" I was like, she mentioned Kendrick Lamar, like during her interview. It was like a public interview, like where people could attend. And she mentioned Kendrick Lamar, and then after she was done, I yelled, "Hey, Kendrick Lamar!" I like rapped, "All right, we gonna be all right." She like looked at me and she's like, "Oh, you like Kendrick Lamar?" And then we like rapped together a little bit, just one verse. And I was like, "Oh man, I'm complete."
That's it. That's awesome. When I think back at the temple where Thich Nhat Hanh, even though I didn't see Thich Nhat Hanh, I did see a lot of like the younger monks just sweeping. Yeah. Just quietly just sweeping.
Wow. That's powerful.
Yeah. Any final words to the friends and family back home? Wait, where's home for you? In Texas or Virginia?
So home, because my family, we love getting on planes and flying to far flung places. So so long story short, my mom's from Texas, my dad's from Mississippi. None of my immediate family live in those places. I have aunts and uncles and folks in those places, cousins. I want y'all to stay fresh and be safe, be cool. And my mom and dad, they're both in the DC area in Virginia, Northern Virginia. So Virginia is for lovers. You know, they're many decades now together, so that love is special.
Cool.
And I want y'all to be well as well. Sister in North Carolina, another in California. So South represent and the West Coast, best coast. And I want to say to all my friends and family, thank you so much. You made me funny, interesting, smart, and got me a little bit closer to meeting this guy. So stay fresh.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Thanks, guys.